Okay, El Nino is here this summer. Could be the one of the hottest summers on record. So we thought rentals, pools, 2025. What's happening with them with legislation? Are you paying more for them when you're renting a property? Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Pool maintenance responsibility, renting with the pool safety and regulations for rentals, costs of property maintenance in rentals, insurance for rental properties, attracting tenants with pools, seasonal pool use in rentals, pool management with inspections, pool access and access rules in rentals, and balancing the costs and tenant enjoyment with a pool.
It's all about the enjoyment when it comes to the pool, but it does have a price tag.
It has. Cleo, thank you for coming onto the show. The expert property manager of the universe, last year awarded in the
Lovely.
Universe Property Management Awards. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I am. I'm looking forward to summer. This topic sparked a bit of interest for myself owning a pool.
I can see it in the background.
It is a costly expense. You can probably see from the picture there, my spa is empty because it leaks. So there's costs involved with pools, which is why I decided to maybe have a chat about it, because it's coming into summer too now. So
It certainly is.
yes.
And yeah, like no shit. It's saying that this summer is going to be potentially, with the effects of El Nino, one of the hottest summers we've experienced in a long time. Bit hard to believe when it's 11 degrees this morning.
I know, it's still cold. October used to be pool weather.
I know. We did get a hint of it, but it's actually quite a cool hack. I think pools for landlords are no good. I think pools for tenants are a big win.
You're right. Look, the pool is an Australian commodity. Like, every family, every barbecue, everything associated to summer with Aussies is either the pool in the back with all the neighbours and everybody around, or the beach. So if you can have both, amazing luxury. But we do get asked a lot at rental properties, especially when it's families with kids. Does it have a pool? And if you're going to go anywhere north of, excuse me, 900 a week, you're expecting the question, does the property have a pool? And to be fair, out of all my managements, I only have 6 pools to manage. That's not a lot.
Wow. Well, if you guys watched our show on land tax a week or two ago, it probably explains why you're not going to be renting out your big fat house with your big fat pool. So when a tenant finds a property with the pool, I'd imagine the next question would be, what do I pay for and what does the landlord pay for? How does that work?
The legislation has always been the same. The landlord pays for the service, the tenant pays for the chemicals. It used to be that tenants would be invoiced the chemicals from the office separately, like water usage, and whatever it is, bags of salt, bags of chlorine. Sometimes tenants don't want to pay as much for the chemicals, or they don't think that the pool needs as many chemicals. So companies that we've been using for many, many years have stopped dealing direct with tenants, and they go straight through the agency. This is the cost. They invoice the owner, the agent, and then we recoup that money from the tenant. Back in the earlier days, I remember it used to just be a gentleman's shake between the pool company and the tenants. They would turn up, they'd say this is how much it costs, they'd pay them, and that was it. Over the years, what I found was that wasn't happening. And some tenants were like, well, we're not using the pool during winter. I'm not paying that. Or there'd be a little bit of a disagreement with what needs to be spent and maintained. And especially now in our financial climate, these are extra costs for tenants as well. So, but to effectively maintain a pool, you have to put the right amount of chemicals. You can't let it go green. And if that's the case, draining it and filling it, all that costs again, you know, gurning it and, you know, just maintaining that little bit of chemicals and salt can actually cost the landlord, you know, save the landlord money in the end if a tenant were to move and just leave the pool green, for example, because it's winter.
So what I find interesting is the pool behind you that you mentioned, the spa is empty because the spa leaks. So what I find interesting here is you're going to put your hand, you guys are going to put your hands in your pockets for a couple of grand.
Easy.
Easy to
Excuse
fix
me.
that. As an owner, you get it. Now, if you were renting that property, the landlord's going to be fronting that cost. Is that right?
Yes. The pool needs to be maintained by the landlord. The tenant is there to enjoy it and pay for the chemicals, and that's it.
Sounds like a good deal for a tenant.
It's a great deal for a tenant. The owner has to pay for the equipment. So, say for example, the skimmer box breaks or the creepy crawly gets blocked, they've got to pay for a new creepy crawly. If tenants rented the property with a pool, that's part of the inclusion. Even that spa, like if I had this property rented now and the spa wasn't in use and I rented it with the spa, the tenant would have grounds for compensation because the spa's not working.
Wow. And that's, yeah, right. So that's a bit of even better value. There's almost a guarantee that they're going to have that there working because it was built into their rent when they took it. So I think we're starting to get pretty clear now. If you're a landlord, you don't want one. If you're a tenant, you want one. When a tenant gets a pool, how much do you reckon they're paying more? Are they paying any more? Are they paying less? Are they paying a lot more? What's the
I
value
reckon
that
they're
a tenant will be paying?
I reckon they're paying a lot more, at least 250 a week in rent if you've got a working pool, 100%, you know, and it's a nice pool. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it does add value for sure. Like I said, you know, when
Oh,
you've got kids, it's entertainment. It's free entertainment. I mean, you know,
it's a
every
babysitter.
Saturday, Sunday after school, everyone's in the pool during summer, you know.
Wow. Okay. So I did not realize that you're paying that a tenant will pay overs or a premium so much so for a pool.
I mean, I would if I was, you know,
Yeah,
if
me
I was
too.
looking,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing with pools are leaves and trees. So those two things also go hand in hand. With arborists and maintenance, if you've got a gum, if you've got any kind of tree above your pool, you're going to be maintaining that tree as well during that time of summer.
The
So that
landlord.
can be, yeah, the landlord. That's another expense for the landlord. And, you know, there is this element of good faith that if you're a tenant and you've got a pool, you're going to clean it, you're going to look after it, you know, you're going to scoop leaves, you're going to do what's required to make sure that it's, you know, swimmable, for example. But the monthly costs for an owner are anywhere between, you know, well, they don't go every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks during summer. It all dependent as well on what trees are around your property.
Yep.
But you're probably looking at about $400, $200 a visit. So you're looking about $400 every 2, 4, 6 weeks, whatever's required there. And then 60 or so odd dollars for chemicals for tenants. So the pool guys come out, they check the water level, they check all the equipment, they do that regular service. You do still have to give a tenant notice regarding access. Usually we like to give the pool company the tenant's details and they can just within themselves let them know we come out every Friday at this time between that time. Especially when you got small children, even if it's the pool guy, you don't want any pool guy just rocking around your house whenever the
Yeah.
pool needs to be serviced. Um, But yeah, there is legislation tied around pools as well with compliancy, having a certificate. So if you're a first time landlord with a pool, you have to have a certificate to say that your pool is safe and compliant. That usually is around fencing, signage, and it's mainly to do with those two things. The pool fence is a big thing because obviously drowning and everything with small children, it is a liability for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, covered pools, covered cost. Is it cheaper to rent the pool property in the winter months or the summer months? I.e., now that we're going to be coming into summer, are people going to be paying more for that pool than if they're taking the same property 3 months ago?
I don't feel so. You're still maintaining that pool in winter. The pool chemicals still get used. I don't know personally, I don't douse our pool, but during summer you may pay a little bit more for chemicals. Just
Oh,
because
sorry, my question is rental
oh,
premium. Do you find that people will pay? So the same property, is it getting like
oh yeah,
1,300 a week, and then in winter, and then the same property if you decide to rent that out in the summer periods?
100%.
Oh, really?
100%. Just like
Okay.
just like renting a property near the beach during winter
Yeah.
and not
Okay.
so much during yeah. So those rental premiums definitely will go up.
So this could be a great hack and a great piece of advice to prospective tenants out there. If you want a property, move your property, and you want to go into a property with a pool, it may be having first move advantage in the next couple of weeks may be better than doing it come summer, because you will be paying more on your 12-month lease.
100%, yeah, definitely. All those, beautiful properties and rentals near the beach rent better in winter. It's cheaper for the tenant than they will now coming into summer for sure.
Claire Whitty, expert property manager. Thank you very, very much. Very
No problem.
comprehensive, very knowledgeable.
At this time of the morning, it's tough, but yeah, all good. Thank you. Have a great day,
Brilliant.
everyone.
Thanks, heaps. Thanks, heaps, Claire. Cheers,
Bye.
everyone. Enjoy the show.